Hello friends, today part 3 and we will talk about animation. Of course, I added to my scene few new elements. You see in floor I added animation texture, I added this 3D text, and I think the first I show you this animation esport news, how I did this element and top 10 games. Of course, I invite you to my Patreon, animation is attached, you may download and use in your commercial project. My friends, please leave a comment, pack of fusion, and where are you from? Of course, what do you think about this tutorial? So let's get started. Okay friends, the first we create this 3D text animation, esport news, and maybe important information, I connect to this esport independent light. What I mean, my friends, of course, I mean this yellow underlay, this is of course this esport news text 3D and esport news, you see, and in this merge I added this light. Then I connect to this merge, so this light of course works, interact only with my text, okay? So now I create this element in new composition because my computer is not fast, you know. So I go to new composition, I have esport news, text, esport news, maybe I add, okay? And the first, of course, we create, you see, text 3D with merge 3D. Maybe I add a new merge, and in this merge you connect, I also connect independent light, okay? So go to esport, I use lemon milk font, and we create now extrusion. So go to extrusion and I set, for example, maybe 1, maybe 2. Okay, this is extrusion esport. Again, go to news and set extrusion, sorry, extrusion, not size. Go to extrusion and we set maybe 2 is okay, because this is the same value, because and this is bigger because news has this size 1, but this element has size 0.5. I think this is understandable. So now we add follower. So go to export text. In this place, right-clicked mouse in this place and select follower. Okay. You see in this place is active modifiers. So go to modifiers, go to shading, and go to, my friends, position. Go to position, and for example we go to frame 65 and we add, my friends, keyframe, maybe, my friends, 8, and my element is here, maybe 10 will be better, and go to frame, for example, 25, and we add again frame 0, my friends, frame 0. So we achieve this easy animation. And what we need? Of course, we need to delay. So go to, we are of course in modifiers, shading, go to timing, and in this place you select delay. For example, 5. Thanks to this, my friends, I achieve this animation. But I want to add to my animation more smooth, you know, because this is more linear. So go to, my friends, spline editor in this place, select this animation. Sometimes I use this option, show only selected tools. So I select this spline, so I very often also use this zoom to fit option. I select this element and, for example, I change parameters. So maybe something like this. It means at the beginning my animation will be very fast, then my animation is slower, okay? So it looks something like this. Oh, it is too fast, maybe maybe something like this. Okay, go to my friends news, and of course again we create follower, activate modifiers. In modifiers go to shading, and in shading go to my friends position, and for example in frame maybe 65 we add keyframe in offset Z, maybe something like this, and go to frame 25 and 0. So we have, my friends, this animation. Of course we need to set delay, so modifiers, go to timing and delay 5. Again go to spline editor, my friends, and in spline editor we add more smooth. So spline editor, news, fit to zoom, select this element, fit to zoom, and maybe something like this. Of course, what I need to do, I think this extrusion is too small, so I add more extrusion in my news. So go to news and I add more extrusion, my friends, maybe 2.3, maybe 3. How it looks? Maybe no, maybe 2. Okay, it's okay. Maybe, my friends, we add, I think this is too fast. Okay, maybe I change a little timing my news. So go to spline editor and I select news, fit to zoom, I select this, Shift B, my friends, and I stretch this animation, okay? You see? I very often use spline editor to adjust parameters in my animation. Okay. Thanks to this, we achieve this animation. I think I change position to my news. Maybe. Something like this. Okay. Of course, you adjust your position camera. My camera, for example, maybe my friends, maybe I change position. Maybe, my friends, I change position this element. Okay. Okay, I think it's okay. Of course, if you connect this element with your merge in your original composition, I think everything will be okay. Now we add, my friends, maybe bevel. So in text, my friends, is option bevel. What I mean, of course, my friends, maybe I check off this spline editor. Maybe the first news. In extrusion is option bevel. But we use custom option, and how it works. This graph show you how looks your bevel. If I change, for example, my friends, parameters, look at this. If I change parameters, my bevel is changing. Okay, so if I change, my friends, this position of this point, look at this, how it works, okay? I think this is understandable, and I set, for example, this value. And again, go to export, extrusion style, custom, and we adjust bevel in export text. Maybe something like this. Okay. Oh, I think it's too big. So maybe I change in my text tracking, and I again change this bevel is big. Okay, and this is now we add, my friends, light, and one light we add to front and second in back. So I use point light. Of course, remember you need to set this option. And this light, for example, will be in this place. And second light, maybe second light will be in this place. And I set color to orange. And look, thanks to this, maybe more. Using this technique, I achieve my effect. I think it looks nice. Because this light has this nice, a little rim. Of course, your text needs a shader. How to create shader? Of course, I show you in part 2. And if you don't know how to connect shader, look part 2. Okay, so now maybe we create second element. Maybe this ring, we create now this element. And maybe I create again this element and I use shape. So we use, my friends, tab shape, and I use, my friends, S circle. So shape, S ellipse, sorry my friends, S ellipse. Okay, of course we need S render. And I think I change parameters in this place. Now I add new S ellipse and I connect this element. I import S outline. Of course, this is improvisation at this time. Something like this. And of course, the trick is easy. We need to create animation. If you right click in this place and select expression, you may click in this place and pick this little pick whip, connect this with this, and if I change parameters, you see this is proportional scale. Okay, so maybe go to frame 10, it will be 0, and 20, maybe in 35 I add. Okay, something like this. Okay, this is of course only technique. And now we create this line. How I did this effect, of course, I use S rectangle, we add S render. Of course, we need S duplicate and S transform. My S render, of course, I change parameters. White and height must be the same. And this object must be very thin. Maybe something like this. Change position this object using transform. And in duplicate, I add 20 copies. Of course, change X offset. And next node, of course, will be coordinate space. Of course, S render must be look at this proportion, okay? So we use coordinate space. And we use option polar, my friends. Shape, polar. And I have this object, okay? So connect this with this, foreground, background, of course. And I achieve this element, okay? Of course, you may add animation, so I think this is very easy technique. Then, of course, I connect this element. Of course, this element must be 3D, so if you connect image plane 3D, it will be 3D object. Only change position, rotation, sorry. So this is this object, then I connect this with this. Of course, this must be bigger, so I add transform 3D. Very often, my friends, I add transform 3D because transform 3D give me possibility, of course, my friends, create independent rotation. You know, for example, in this place, don't change position this with this. You may, of course, use in this place transform 3D. Of course, I think this is understandable. I change position only this transform, okay? So I have this position, this structure. Of course, in this place we add independent lights, for example, maybe here. And okay, my friends, I think this is easy. This is understandable, my friends. And using this technique, I create my element. Of course, you need shader, remember. So now I create, my friends, and in my animation, of course, I use in this place, third light, for example, point light, maybe other. I add next light, spotlight. I change position this light, maybe this, maybe here will be okay. Of course, change penumbra. I think this light is very important. This light, lightning to front my text 3D, okay? Yes, I think it is understandable, okay? Because if I don't connect this light, my letter will be too dark. Okay, my friends, now we add next element, maybe this element, my friends. Top 10 games. How I create this element? Of course, this is the same technique which I use in eSport news, but I used one node to add rotation. So of course I use, my friend, transform 3D. So for example, I copy this element, remove animation, go to follower, remove animation. Okay, I use this element to create this animation. Of course, now I haven't any keyframe. I use only, my friends, bevel to animation. So if I add transform 3D, my friends, look at this. Transform 3D, of course, give me possibility to change all parameters, scale, rotation, you know. And for example, in frame 50, my bevel will be, for example, my friends, my bevel will be, okay, other. Maybe in 50, bevel will be 2, in news in 60, okay? I add keyframe, okay? Export has this value, extrusion, news has this value. Go to, for example, 25, and we, for example, my friends, 0. Here, something like this. Now I have this animation, okay? It's very slow, so I add speed. So spline, Shift B, for example, I add more speed. Okay. Now I have this. But, my friends, now I add effect, a little ping pong effect, okay? Ping pong effect. So how to do it? Of course, I add keyframe in this place and I create something like this. Look at this. Look at this. Okay? It's easy. So go to News, select my friend's spline, add 1 point, change position, Shift S, and maybe something like this. Thanks to this, I achieved this ping pong effect, but of course we need to change right on option. So go to text, tools, text, and for example in frame, my friends. For example in frame. Okay. I add keyframe here and maybe here, and go to export text and we add animation in right on, my friends. So go to 25 keyframe, something like this. Very often I use this technique to create motion design element. And sorry, my Fusion crashed down, so I open original composition, but you know how to animate these elements, this ping pong style, but I told about transform 3D. So look at this. This is, my friends, this yellow underlay. This is my top 10 games. This is my top 10 games. And in this place you see I have transform 3D, and this transform has keyframe. Maybe I go to spline editor and look here. This is very easy animation. One keyframe, second keyframe. At the beginning is a little faster, then is a little slow. And I think looks pretty cool. Of course, light. The first light in front, second in back. So I think it's all in this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching. So I think if you watch part first, second and third, you can create your virtual studio. Thank you very much for watching. I will be glad if you subscribe my channel, leave a comment, and of course see you in part 4, because in part 4 we set render. So see you in the next tutorial.